Good morning, students. So, we have reached the climax of this story, Two Gentlemen of Verona. And now we are very much clear about these two boys. Why did they exploited every corner of Verona? Why did they keep on engaging one or the other work in Verona in such a small age? And what was the responsibility that they took seriously? So everything was revealed now, and this is how Cronin here introduces the sudden twist or a turning a point here in this story here. So now and the author is also shows a very mature qualities here, characteristics here. He never want to disturb at this time when they reach this villa. He never ever tried to interrupt the discussion of these two boys with their sister Lucia here, and also he asked the information about to the nurse who is taking care of Lucia in that hospital. Then see, and we have seen how they lost their father. He was killed in an army. And soon after, so there was a bomb fell on their home, and they were thrown out of their home in the streets, and they lost their home, father, everything, and became all alone in the world, orphans. In that cold Veronese situation there. So now cold Verona. Then. So you know that after a few days, when they recovered, they find their sister, and she was suffering from tuberculosis of the spine, which was contracted during the miseries of the war. So the role of war here, how critical the life of these boys because of this war. So that is what we need to think about. The war here, the destructive nature of war. What is that? Destructive nature of war. Or, yes, war. In the life of these two boys, Nicola and Jacopo, and Lucia also. And how do you take these people? So one is Nicola, then Jacopo, yes, Jacopo, and then it is Lucia, the last sister. Of these two. So these three members, they became orphan. They lost their father, a widower father. Yes. Then she paused, took a quick breath. Who? The nurse who is telling about these boys to the author here. She paused, took a quick breath. Did they give up? She asked. Did they give up? I do not have to answer that question. They brought her here, persuaded us to take her into the hospital. And see, when soon after they come to know that their sister is not feeling well, and she's suffering from some pain, they immediately brought her to the hospital where they were at present. And look at the thing here. See, 13 and 12-year-old boys, and they take care of their 20-year-old sister. Yes, And you can imagine their maturity here. Isn't it? Yes. About 30 years. And she was feeling with a different TB, tuberculosis of spine. And this is the disease contracted during the war. During the war. Again the war. So, by looking at this situation, see, we have to think about the courage or the strength of these two boys at this time here. Because for the first time they became orphans and they lost their home and they were in the streets of cold Verona. Okay, and now, so they have, temporarily, they have built their own temporary, hut there in order to live with the rubber and the other wastages they find in such a, in that particular place as such. Soon after that, they saw their sister Lucia was suffering from pain then. So then they came, they brought her to the hospital and admitted her to the hospital here. So they never kept quiet, thinking that, okay, let it be, okay, like that. Though they were small boys, they brought her to the hospital. Did they give up? I do not have to answer that question. They brought her here, persuaded us to take her into the hospital in the 12 months. Listen, persuaded us to take her into the hospital. In the 12 months she has been our patient. She has made good progress. There is every hope that one day she will walk and sing again. Yes. See the boys here. Okay, how hardworking they are. And they pleaded. They begged the hospital people, persuaded them to take her into the hospital. In the 12 months, see, it's already, they have completed 12 months. And she is admitted there as a patient, and it has been already completed 12 months. So she was the patient for about 12 months to that hospitals there. And she has made good progress and she reacts good for the medication as such, okay, medicine that they are giving, and there is every hope that one day she will walk and sing again, and she has a strong hope that one day she is going to wake up and become well, and what? She will walk again, she will dance again, and she will sing again. So that is the hope and belief that the girl Lucia had here. Then coming to the next paragraph, of course, everything is so difficult now. Everything is so difficult now, food so scarce and dear. We could not keep going on unless we charged a fee. Yes, it is a war-stricken period. So there was a big warfare, world wars took place. And due to this fights or war, so it was a very difficult period. And where all the economic, things have been collapsed there. So it was a poverty of economy that people were facing a lot of things because there is no job, no nothing, and everything became very, 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 very rare and cheap and dear there. And even food so scarce and dear. So, to admit Lucia, they have to charge some money here. In order to run the hospital, in order to maintain the hospital, they have to charge some money from these boys here. So that is why, see here what happens here. We could not keep going unless we charge a fee. But every week Lucia's brothers have made their payment. She added simply, I don't know what they do. I do not ask. Work is scarce in Verona. But whatever it is, I know they do it well. Yes. Even this nurse was quite strange, was quite happy with the boy's behavior here. So somehow, though Verona was a victim of war, it faces a difficult situation during those war period as such. The economy of the city has been completely destroyed and collapsed by this time. And even so, these boys, she never knew what they do or not do as such. But every week they are going to come, they are going to visit the hospital and pay the fees of the hospital and go. And this is what they were doing. Okay, Lucia's brothers have made their payment. She added simply, I don't know what they do. I do not ask. Also, she also never asked them because such is the behavior of these people there. So if you ask such things to such a characters or people like Nicola and Jacopo, I think it will be a bad thing, or it may create a kind of disturbance to them. They may feel bad about them. So that is why even nurse too never ask. So what did they do to earn the money as such? But one thing she knows that work was very much scarce in Verona. But wherever it is, whatever it is, I know do it well. So whatever it may be, whatever. So it was not bothered about their work and such things. Because every week they come here and pay some amount and go, and they talk with her. Okay, they spend some time with her happily, and they used to go out from here. So this is the information given by the nurse to our author in this chapter here. So now, yeah, I agreed. They couldn't do it better. Yes, the author now, although, yes. So now, Coltini, but they couldn't do it better because they work hard. Still, they work hard, but they didn't manage well to work or to be healthy as such. Still, they might have worked very better. I waited outside until the boys rejoined, and he came back listening and getting the information from this a nurse there, and he returned to his vehicle there, car outside the hospital, and he was waiting for them outside the hospital there. I waited outside until the boys rejoined me, then drove them back to the city. Yes, and see, this is the attitude of our author here. He never ever wants to disturb these boys, hurt the feelings or emotions of these boys here, because see, he never reveal or expose or tell anything to these boys as such. So soon after they return, or is returned from the place or from their sister, say the author is already sitting in his car and waiting for them. See how quick he is and how understanding he is about these boys as such. because it may hurt the feelings if they know that the author has followed them and he has followed them and seen and he knew everything about the reality of these two boys. So they may feel, they may be hurt. So thinking that, so he came and waited there. Now, and he drove them back to the city. He dropped them city. He returned and dropped them city. They sat beside me, not speaking, in a mood of quiet contentment. But after when they returned and they sat in the car of the author and they never spoke. They were completely quietness, calmness, silence. And as for the observation of the author, there was a bit contentment. ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತೃಪ್ತಿ ನೆಮ್ಮದಿ ಅವರ ಮುಖದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು. Okay, contentment. For my part, I did not say a word. But as of the author is concerned, he never said anything to these people here. Why? Because once again he knows that they are very, very, very honest. They are very hardworking people. They are very mature. And if I deliver or expose this matter, they may feel bad. They may hurt. I may hurt their emotions in a very bad manner. So that is why he never spoke to them, okay, in a mode of quiet contentment. And for my part, I did not say a word. I knew they would prefer to feel that they had safely kept their secret. Yes, the secret that they safely kept, okay, is somewhat should be respectable to these boys. For these boys here, see how they maintain this secret. They never reveal the things. Compare those things with the present life of modern man. So ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಏನೇ ಇರಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದು ಇದ್ದದ್ದು ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಸಿ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, isn't it? So we deliver everything to people. We lie, but they never even reveal their real incidents where they suffer. When the people ask, the owner of the vehicle asks them, they can ask any favor, any help from them. So they are not ready to, ask them. Get the help from the owner here. Such is the maturity of these boys here. So that is why they are very matured here. Then I knew they would prefer to feel that they had safely kept their secret. Yet this silent epic of youthful devotion, is an epic of youthful devotion. Silent epic of youthful devotion had touched me deeply. Touched the author, okay, deeply. So this is what the author experiences, a kind of a thing or a contentedness or a happiness by these boys here. Then see what happens here. Yet this silent epic of youthful devotion had touched me deeply. War with its attendant horrors had not broken their spirit, and if an untimely maturity had been forced upon them, at last they had accepted it with dignity and courage. Their selfless action brought a new nobility to human life, gave promise of a greater hope for human society as well. Selfless action. The selfless action of these boys. Okay, it is the selfless action of these boys. It is the dignity and courage that we look at. Dignity and courage of the boys made them successful here. Selfless action. Yes. Then it brought a new nobility to human life. New nobility to human life. To human life. Imagine the message that we get from this lesson. New nobility to human life gave promise of greater hope. Gave promise of greater hope. Gave promise of greater hope to the young generation. Isn't it? Hope for human society. So, think of these things here. See, the message also was coined and concluded by explaining the main theme and the message from these boys. It will teach us a lesson of selfless action. It will teach us how to behave in a dignified and courageously in our life. And it is really a very new nobility to human life as well. Then the act and the sacrifice, the hard work of these boys gave us promise of greater hope for the society and also especially for the youths or the young population of the world as such. Isn't it? Because if you read Two Gentlemen of Verona, a short story, an interesting short story by A.J. Cronin, that is Archibald Joseph Cronin. So one can be benefited or gifted with these, important, very valuable, disciplines of human behavior, and the message that we get from this short story is as such. So now, let us think and discuss about the main plot of this story here. So the main plot here has been already just given a clue. He has given a clue in his climax here, the end of the story here. And we come to know that it is a better climax, a better message to the readers as well as the youngsters here. See, he says very finely, the last paragraph. See here, yet this silent epic of youthful devotion had touched me deeply. War with its attendant horrors had not broken their spirit. Yes, they never bothered about war here. So, it is the war, between these boys and the war. So, who became Who won the war here? Won the war between boys and war. So it never, disturbed them. It never broken their spirit of work here. It never caused any pain or anything to these boys here. So, what do you say? War with its attendant hours had not broken their spirit, and if an untimely maturity had been forced upon them, at least they had accepted it with dignity and courage here. So that is what they see. They never afraid of the war here. So they became victim and the war was down here. So they never bothered about the war here. Whoever it may be, whether the Germans or any Americans, they fought, or even the whole of Verona was destroyed, they never bothered here. So it was open, the city was open for these boys to do these things. So that is why they have exploited every corner and nook of Verona here. Okay, they sold fruits, hawked newspaper, shined shows. They conducted tourist trips to the visitors to show the death tomb of Juliet and other places of interest in and around Verona. They ran errands and they exploited every corner of Verona during that war excerpt. So it is the courage, it is the strength and the willpower that these boys had here. They never bothered and afraid of war or the consequences of the war, and even they never bothered about the Nazi rule, which ruled continuously for about 3 years when it occupied Verona. So they never bothered here. So this is what we feel proud of these boys, my dear students. Then, their selfless action brought a new nobility to human life. Yes, the action or everything that they did in this story is selfless action. They never have any greed on making money, or in eating, or wearing nice clothes, and they never had such things in throughout their life. So the actions or the duty, the work they performed in the story, it is because to take care of their sister. It is because to clear the hospital bills of their sister Lucia, who has been admitted by them into the hospital, who is suffering from tuberculosis of spine there. So all the money that they earn is to take care of their sister and is to pay the bills of the hospital and to pay for the medicines that what necessary for her here. So that is what the boys' action becomes selfless here. Okay, that is why you can say that the selfless action brought a new mobility to human life, gave promise of a greater hope. Yes, it gives us a promise, a kind of a promise of greater hope. So this is what very important, my dear students. If you have hope and faith, you can do anything. Okay, they say, where there is a will, there is a way. Will and way. See, imagine those two things. First you have to will. You have to gain will. Okay? If you have will, so you can plan and you can succeed in your life from whatever difficulty, pain that you may have. And you will find the proper way and you will achieve. So, where there is a will, there is a way. Yes, big people like Nicola and Jacopo, they worked hard. Their willpower is very strong. They never bothered about war or the aftermath of war or the consequences of war. They never bothered about the German rule in Verona, because they ruled Verona for about 3 years there. And it was a very harsh, cruel rule that they ruled Verona. And even then they never bothered. 1 mark question 1, plus you will have 1 4-mark question here. And remaining, the paper will be set on the grammar and composition also here. Since it is a prose work or a short story, the board of studies will take a few suitable part from this prose work or lesson, and they may set it for grammar also. So there are questions of 3 marks, 2 marks, 4 mark questions set on the grammar. So most of the grammar of first PU English is based on your text. That is your lessons. If it is works, they will take an extract from the stories or the lessons, not the poetry as such. And if it is in articles and prepositions for 4 marks, so they will take an extract from the prose work of your syllabus. So that is why it is very much necessary and compulsory for everyone to read the text. Okay, text here. So it is 5. And sometimes you may get a 6-mark question also here. Okay, we are not sure about that. So if it is 6 mark, if it is 4-mark question, it is 5 plus. If it is 6-mark question, it is 7 plus. So this will be the mass distribution here. So dear students, having these things in mind, as I said, see, in our syllabus this year, we have totally Gentlemen of the Jungle, the first lesson, that is a prose work. Orumanushan is an interesting story by Muhammad Bashir. Babar Ali is a story. And Two Gentlemen of Verona. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 prose works out of 9 units here. You have totally 9 units, 4 lessons, and you have 4 poems. And these 4 poems are 4 lessons are very important. See here, the 4 lessons this year are very important. They cover your grammar syllabus. Grammar syllabus here. So that is why, remember, it is important here. So you have to read, you must read the lessons compulsory. Reading is must. You don't know out of these 4 lessons, so which grammar point or component is going to be framed. I can't say that, see for example, Gentlemen of Verona, or for example, Two Gentlemen of Verona here. So I can't say exactly that they are going to set or select this prose work for articles and prepositions. No, I can't say, or you can't say. So that's why, see, there are verbs, articles and prepositions, and rewrite as directed, correction of sentences, okay, all these grammar components are there, which are mainly based from only your textbook, that is lessons here. So that is why our suggestion to you is not to refer any grammar books, not to read any grammar books available in the market, but read the text with the classes. What you are going to get in the classes or the grammar and composition here. So that is why, so even the same system prevails or continues to your second PU as such. So that is why, remember students, okay, it will be a very important one, because nowhere, so it is not from any other books or grammar books that the syllabus of 40-mark grammar will be covered here. See, because out of 50-mark grammar, so there is a 10-mark, so 10-mark passage will be there, isn't it? Passage will be there. When you deduct passage, so there will be 40 marks. Then all these 40-mark questions are from, okay, except few from your text only. Yes. So that is why keep that in your mind. And now, see, let us see what sort of questions, and even the comprehension part that you see after every unit in your textbook is very much important. So that will help you in preparing for the grammar and composition here. Don't neglect that these are not important or necessary, whichever it is given in the comprehension part after each unit here. See, for example, you have collocations on page number 11111 there, and appropriate usage, inappropriate usage are given here. And see, then underline the collocations in the following sentences are given here. So they are all very much important for you personally to shape or to improve your knowledge in English, have a good command on English as such, and even to get a good score or marks in your examination as such. So then, coming to the page number 110 here, see, look at the questions in main question number 2. In what different ways were the boys useful to the narrator? I don't think it is a very important question here, because they used to help them a lot by providing them American cigarettes, and they used to book a ticket for them in order to attend the opera, and they used to suggest where they will get a good ravivoli, the name of the good restaurants as such, and they used to take them a trip or a tour of these people to in and around Verona city here. Then second question, so I don't think it is a very important question. Okay, then coming to the second question, dear students, see, what do you understand about the boys' character from their action and behavior? Okay, yes, the boys, what do you understand about the boys? Okay, then, and their character. Boys' character from their action and behavior. Action and behavior. It is very important here. It is very important for us to study the character of these people and behavior of these people. It is really very disciplined boys. Very obedient, honest, hardworking. So you have no question of speaking about their character or conduct here. Okay, there is 100% they are the gem of the boys. Boys' character from their action and behavior. So the behavior is quite good, quite humane, and they never ever depend on anybody here. They work hard. They don't want to trouble anybody also. They don't want to tell their miseries, difficulties, sorrows with anybody here. And they go on, work hard, and the action is very much adventurous, a great, hard, difficult. Even then, they never lost their spirits. They never lose their spirit. They never felt any fear or afraid of any work or job. So they have a very strong, firm willpower to tackle in the life here. Isn't it? So you can elaborate by taking the instances from the lesson here. The boys are evasive in disclosing their plan to the narrator, the story, because. Is this? Okay, the choices were given here. The boys are evasive in disclosing their plan to the narrator in the story because they thought he could never understand their plight. B, they did not want to share their problem with a stranger. C, they did not want to gain anybody's sympathy. C, you can write they don't want anybody's sympathy. You can say they thought that he could never understand their plight. No, it's not a thing. B, they did not want to share their problem with a stranger. Yes, of course, maybe partly we can go for this, and then the third one, B and C, will go for it. They did not want to gain anybody's sympathy. Okay, that want to share their problem with a stranger. Okay, it's more, B is more appropriate here. Okay, you can choose that answers here. Then third main, do you think the ending comes to you as a surprise? Yes, of course, it is a secret, safety secret of these boys becomes a surprise for every reader. Okay, then you can elaborate it by the information in the textbook. Second one, had you been in the place of the narrator, would you have behaved differently? Yes, of course, if you lack in common sense and knowledge as such, we would have behaved in a different manner rather than the author who had the narrator have behaved very maturely in this chapter here. Appearances are deceptive. How does the story bring out this idea? Is the boys looks very weak, dull. They wore a very shabby tone dresses as such, very poor dresses. They used to eat very less black bread and twigs as such. Okay, appearances really never bother. Okay, and we never think about the value should not be given more to the appearances here, because it is the inner self, it is the courage, it is the behavior, character that we have in our soul, our heart, that must be given value here. Okay, war may destroy one's home but not one's heart. Discuss the statement with reference to the story of the two boys. An important question, you can prepare for it. Do you think the story is a telling comment on the true character of a gentleman? Elaborate. Maybe you can say that it is a true comment true. Okay, so then I think it's time now for us to complete this session here. Okay, if you have any doubts, we will discuss in our physical classes, dear students. Thank you, everyone.